So another week, another episode of Ahsoka. As always, I'm Al, this is the Geek in Review, and I'm going to be talking about part 3, so if you haven't seen it, this will contain spoilers. Now, rewatching this, I kind of noticed that this is almost the first real-time episode of Star Wars that we've had. Also, running at 37 minutes, it's the shortest of the show so far. So because of this, I'm not going to get into too much detail on this, and I'm just going to get straight to it. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. I'll remind you at the end as well. So the episode opens with Ahsoka and Sabine Wren heading towards wherever the hyperdrive part was taken last week. Sabine's continuing her Jedi training with Huyang, which is going okay according to him, but not great. And remember, he's trained Jedi in lightsaber styles over the centuries, and he's worked with some pretty big names. We haven't had them dropped yet, but he does suggest in this episode that he's worked with Count Dooku, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan, you name it. And a good chunk of this episode is focusing on Sabine's force skills, or lack of it, because although she can wield a lightsaber, we've seen that anyone can do that. Bo-Katan was pretty skillful with a darksaber, and she wasn't particularly blessed with the force. And I've got to be honest, David Tennant and Huyang is really the standout in this episode for me. It's all about how the lines are delivered and the sort of comedy intent. Because Huyang is a robot who's a little bit different from the rest of the droids in the Star Wars universe, if you ask me. He's not as wooden or one-dimensional as 3PO or R2-D2, and he's not just there for comedy value, although that's something that he does consistently deliver. And we do get a lot of Star Wars tropes this week. Sabine training with the blast shield down on her visor, bad guy fighter chases, and tail guns. Always with the tail guns in Star Wars. We also get the Master being a bit of a dick to their apprentice, and you bet we're going to get some Anakin Skywalker flashbacks at some point in this show. Because, if you remember, Anakin is a Jedi that trained Ahsoka before she left the Jedi Order. The only other bit that we really get is a small sequence with Hera, who's trying to get the New Republic on board that isn't really working. And going back to what I mentioned last week, the setup for the New Republic falling apart has already been started in The Mandalorian Season 3, and it seems that they're really pushing it in this show as well. It seems that the Republic's full of opportunistic politicians and wannabe do-gooders with no real power. So if this is all a set-up for the introduction of the First Order, it's going pretty well if you ask me. Also, a fantastic use of A-Wings, my favourite fighter in the Rebellion that doesn't get enough screen time. What's your favourite fighter? Let me know in the comments below. Now, although we don't get much time with Hera, we do get to meet her son Jason in this show, who's another Star Wars Rebels character. And Hera's trying to convince the New Republic about Morgan's threat, but they're dismissing her by the fact that she's still obsessed with finding Ezra Bridger. She explains the potential Thrawn threat, but suits aren't having it and they don't want to dedicate any resources to help or investigate. So are they blind, or are they sort of on the take or getting bribed, or both? It's kind of hard to tell. I think we're going to get a few dirty centres exposed before the end of the season. But like I say, that's it for anything else in this episode because it's so short. The rest of the episode is focusing on Ahsoka and Sabine with their adventures and their relationships with Huyang, always Huyang, more Huyang. So they drop out of hyperspace to investigate what Morgan's up to and are attacked straight away with fighters with Shin and the mysterious Marok on board. And it's a really long, too long fight scene. I actually felt bad for the actress playing Shin, as all she does is fighter reaction shots this week. Sure, we do get some cool Ahsoka stuff with her going outside the ship to take out a few fighters with her Jedi skills, which was pretty unexpected and definitely something a little bit different than the usual Jedi flippy flips. And the heroes find out about the hyperspace ring, which seems to be a mix of very old and very new tech. And is it just me, or does Morgan look like she's having a bit of a rough time of it and not getting enough sleep? Because she does look a little bit stressed here. After the ship's been disabled in the attack, they manage to repair it and hide on the planet below, where we get more of the Pergals, that's the space whales, and they're kind of responsible for how Ezra and Thrawn vanished, although they haven't gone into too much detail on this in the show yet. And I do wonder, with these animals being on the planet, do they need them to help power the ring? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Huyang does mention that there were ancient hyperspace lanes that the Jedi used to know about, at least in legend, that linked to other galaxies, so I'm guessing that the whales are responsible or tied to it somehow. And I've got to be honest, that's kind of it for this episode. It just ends with Balin saying that the Jedi are hiding in the forest, and that's as far as it goes. Not necessarily a bad episode, just very short, and I really liked most of what we got here. And as I mentioned at the start, it kind of did feel like a real-time Star Wars episode, which is unusual and a kind of unique premise. I wonder if that was just a coincidence or it was something that was planned, but I did enjoy it. I'm also still wondering how people that haven't seen Rebels are investing in this show, because they keep referencing things and events and not really showing them. We do get more of Ahsoka and Sabine this week, but it was mostly focusing on Sabine's powers or lack of. And we know from the trailer she's going to have another lightsaber fight with Shin in the future, and it seems to be on the planet that they're on at the moment, so that's probably coming next week. But as always, these are just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you've made it this far, leave a like on the video, and if you haven't done it already, subscribe to the channel. My name's Al, thanks for watching.